Alright, my little art friends, we're in Illustrator today again, and I wanted to play around with some of the 3D logos I've seen online. This one comes to mind right here. Could easily be done in Illustrator, not too complicated, so I'm just playing around with it, and I want to show you how to make some so that you can learn a few new tricks and tips. So here's some of the ones I've made. They're horrible, but I'm going to show you how to make one right now, just for fun. That looks similar to, we'll make one that looks like that. Alright. So, first thing we're going to do is learn how to make this shape right here. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. Come down here. So I'm going to start with just a regular elliptical tool here. And I'm just going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to drag and make a circle about that big. And actually I don't want a gradient on it, so I'm just going to put a regular fill color in. There, blue. Great. We'll come back to the gradient in a minute. Now what I want to do is cut out of this, these shapes that are cut out of this. I'm going to make those shapes so I can cut them out. And the way I do that is I get my text tool, and I'm just going to start with an S, the letter S, and that's fine as a Bell Gothic bold 75. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go up to Object and just expand it to give it a little more, few more anchor points there. And I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to drag and kind of drag it up. I'm going to put it right on top of my circle. And what I'm looking to do is actually create these yin-yang type of symbol that's there without it touching. So I'm not really looking at the black at all, thinking about the positive and negative space. I'm just looking at the blue. So I'm going to tap down my S a little bit. So when I look at the S, the blue, I'm not looking at the S. I see I've got these cool kind of little shapes right there. And that's what I want. I want those blue shapes because I want to cut them out with my circle. So I'm going to select this whole little gadget here, and I'm going to open up my Pathfinders. Now, if Pathfinder isn't open, you can just go to Window, and you can find Pathfinder. And I'm just going to play around with my shape modes. I'm going to show you what a couple of these do. You can kind of get an idea by just looking at the icon what they're going to do. If you have two shapes selected, for example, and you click on the first one, it's going to join them together, and it's going to use whatever's your top color. So my top color is black. Now that's not what I want at all. But if you go to the second one, it's going to take away the first color, the first, which is the black. It's going to cut it out. And when I click on that, watch what happens. Whoa! And now I've got my little yin-yang shapes that I can use to cut out later on. So I'm going to put them over there. Now I need to make my circle so I can cut my little yin-yang shapes out. So I'm going to go back to my elliptical tool. Make my circle. Make it a little bigger than my first one there. And I'm just going to go with a different color just so it's not too confusing. There, darker blue. And I'm going to grab my yin-yang shapes and I'm going to drag them and put them on top of my circle. Now, of course, they're not actually on top, they're behind it. So what I might want to do is just right click and I can go Arrange and I can bring forward. And now they're on top. That's good because we want to cut out, using our Pathfinder tool, to cut out those two shapes. So I've got them where I want them. If I select them both, go to my Pathfinder, use that same one there, that shape mode, and click on it, you can see it cut it out. Now I've got that shape like this. All I don't have is the gradient. So I'm going to get the gradient. I'm going to come over here to my gradient tool, or actually I click it right here and take a look at it. We've got I'm going to select the Radial Gradient. The default one right there, that's fine. I don't like where it is, so I'm probably going to click it from the top and drag it down. And this little tool is kind of cool because you can move it around and get it where you like it. So that's where the light section is going to be, and it's going to go down to the dark. I can make it longer, I can make it shorter, so you can play around with it and get it the way you like. Or you can just simply click again if you want. It's like that kind of a thing. Now, I've got that where I want it. I'm pretty happy with that shape. And now what I'm going to do is start putting in some of the inside shapes there. I'm actually going to get rid of this, it's in the way. Alright, so that shape that you look right there, matter of fact, let's do the one that's on our picture. What shape is it? Oh, it's got a gray on the inside. Well, that's kind of boring. Let's do ours with the green like this. This is kind of nice. All I have to do is grab another circle and drag it on top so it's covering over those holes. Right click on it, send it to the back, arrange, send to back, and let's change the color. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on my gradient tool. I'm going to pick, I don't know, yellow, and for my darker color, instead of the black, I'm going to pick a darker green, maybe even darker than that. Well, let's just see, maybe I'll go lighter here. And I'm actually probably going to use a linear gradient on this as opposed to the radial. I think it'll make it look a little cooler. And I'm going to start from the bottom, because before I started from the top with the light, so now I'm going to start from the bottom and go up to the top. And there we kind of have that idea of its inner side circle there. All this right here, I'm actually just going to copy it and paste it so I don't have to make it and save a little time there. All that is another circle with a gradient on it, this time a radial gradient, and I'm going to go with that purple that they had because that was kind of cool. I even like the purple to the yellow. It's kind of gross. Maybe pink, that'd be really nasty. Oh, that's perfect. And I can stick that right inside there. I'm going to go a little bigger. And I got these little, all these guys are right here are just little, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that. White circles, kind of making it look like reflections, and I'm not even going to bother making those. You can know how to make them. The elliptical tool with the white. There we go. And I'm going to throw those in there and tap them down and put them in place like there's some kind of cool reflection on top. It's like it's glass, see-through type of thing. So anyway, that's all we're going to talk about today. I wanted you to just take a look at them. Oops, wrong way. Let's go right there. I want you to try to make a couple of these, have some fun with it. I cut this one out with an S, a letter, so you can use letters, you can use shapes, you can do all kinds of fun things. Pretty neat. Give it a try, and we'll see you in a bit.